Hello, everyone, and welcome back to A Balancing Act with me, Coach Kenz. I am your host, Mackenzie Orzechowski, CEO and certified health and fitness coach at Champion Athletics and Fitness, and the creator of the Fit for Life online coaching program. First and foremost, before we get into anything, if you have not already, please make sure to go ahead and give this podcast a 5-star review for me to help me reach more of you amazing moms out there. And if you end up loving this episode and my others, please be sure to send the link to your friends, family, and also share it to your social media pages. And be sure to tag me. My Instagram handles are all below. I would love to see that you're listening and how much you're enjoying these episodes. So please make sure to go ahead and do those things because, again, all of that will extend my reach so I can help impact more people and more people can listen to what I've got to say. If it's helping them and if it's helping you, it's probably going to help them. So anyways, hello everyone. How are we? Recording again later than I wanted to. I was supposed to record this episode last week when Liam was at his grandparents'. However, I did not. I ended up having a bunch of other things to do, and Little Miss was napping funny for me. So it just ended up happening. But I told you last week, I'm taking messy action, and we're doing it anyway. So Liam is in there. I let him. I said, you know what? I'll put a movie on for you. So he's watching Cars 3. He's a big Cars fanatic. So we're watching Cars 3 for the first time. But we'll see if that keeps him occupied because he will hear me. It's something about, like, I can work out, I can do things, and he is like fine, off in his own little world. We'll play independently. We'll watch his screen time, whatever. If I pull out my laptop to work, he's like, spidey senses like, ooh, mom's trying to do something productive. Let me go interrupt it. Let me go see what she's doing. So it should be interesting to see because the second he starts hearing me talking, I can anticipate him actually making his way in here. So we may be interrupted by an almost 3-year-old here. Additionally, Sienna is napping really well right now for this morning, but she's coming up on probably needing to eat, which also means she will probably be awake. At which point, I will be needing to pause this episode and come back and record the remainder of it. But we'll see how far we can get through. Regardless, I wanted to make sure I got it done so that way I can edit and schedule it so that way it comes up at the right time on Tuesday, just like I want it to, and all of the things. But anyways, I hope you guys are having a good day, a good start to your week, all of the things. Today, we are talking about a fun one of my favorites recently because it's very trendy, hip happening, all the things. Oh, Zempic and Wegovy and Mounjaro and every other injectable weight loss prescription out there, which is a hot topic, my friends. It really is. So I wanted to give you my take on it as a certified health and fitness coach. Okay. I'm going to give you all of the things as much as I can. Okay. Essentially, let's talk about, what it does, if it's actually effective, the effects that happen from it. Right. And then my opinion as far as whether we should be using it or not and who should be using it or not. First and foremost, Ozempic and all the other weight loss injectables, okay, that are weight loss drugs essentially, are a GLP-1 receptor agonist. Okay, so I'm going to read off specifically what came from the research so that we know exactly what the science says that it does. So it mimics the action of the glucagon-like peptide 1. That's the GLP-1 hormone. This hormone increases insulin secretion, decreases glucagon production, and slows gastric emptying. So that is a really fancy scientific way of saying it significantly slows your appetite. Okay? When you significantly slow your appetite, you're not as hungry, you don't want to eat as much, you end up eating in a calorie deficit, you lose weight. Okay? So to answer your question of, is it actually effective? Yes, that's why these things have been proven to be effective. That's why they have been, FDA approved and everything for weight loss as well, because they are effective. They do what they say they're going to do. Okay. They increase the amount of GLP-1 hormone in your body. And for those with type 2 diabetes, with the insulin secretion that it produces, that helps from that perspective for the insulin resistance that type 2 diabetes people experience. And then from a weight loss perspective, because it's so significantly, it basically, I mean, if you talk to people who are on these drugs, these injectables, they tell us how they're not hungry, like basically at all. They could eat, compared to a full plate that they used to be able to eat, they could eat probably like this much of it. Okay. So very similar to as far as appetite suppression with like gastric bypass surgery, how your stomach goes from its normal size down to basically like this, right? So naturally your stomach doesn't have as much room to actually eat. So you're going to get fuller sooner. With you suppressing your appetite so significantly with this increased production of GLP-1 essentially, and mimicking the action of that GLP-1, then that's where you're not going to be hungry all the time. So yes, it's effective because then again, you eat way less, you eat in the calorie deficit, you're going to lose weight. And the appetite suppression is so significant that you end up eating so little that you lose a lot of weight quickly. And that is the attraction for a lot of people, right? Now, here's the thing, okay? It was initially made for those with type 2 diabetes. Most people, not all, most people with type 2 diabetes also have other comorbidities and specifically are obese, very overweight, and their health, their overall long-term health is incredibly in jeopardy. Okay. So we'll kind of talk about that after, but essentially those are the people that when you're obese and significantly overweight like that to the point where your health is in immediate jeopardy, yes, you need to lose weight fast. Okay. So that's where that makes sense in doing so, because if we're having such a significant appetite that we are obese, then yes, we have to dramatically slow that down. That was the intention, not only to take care of the insulin secretion piece and the insulin resistance and help with the type 2 diabetes, but also to help you actually lose weight quickly to lessen your immediate risk of further health issues and or death. Okay. So that was really the intention behind it, right? Now, here's the thing. Let's talk about, because I mentioned that it was FDA approved and all of the different things. So let's talk about who it's supposed to be prescribed for, which ones are FDA approved, the shortage that's going on as well, and things to look out for, as well as the adverse effects that come along with it. Okay. So, if you're thinking about taking this, understand that just like many medications, it's going to come with side effects, and it comes with relatively significant side effects. Okay. So yes, it's effective, but you have to know that it's also going to cause some significant GI issues in when it comes to your stomach. Okay. So a lot of the things that you see come around are, speaking of my almost 3-year-old that I told you was going to make his way in here. There he is with his puppy. We'll see how long I can get through. So essentially, these adverse effects are very much GI related. And so the most common ones you hear are people who have significant nausea, some vomiting, diarrhea, things of that nature. Just lots of, there's even further more serious adverse effects, but those are the most common, especially since the studies have been done since 2017. Okay, so and those side effects can become permanent depending on how long you're on it and all of those kinds of things. Okay, so yes, so it like I have here too, like in studies done since 2017, all of the studies have recorded adverse effects in over 80% of their patients, mainly with the GI system, both during and after use of these medications, whether taken short or long term. So keep in mind that yes, there are side effects, and it's very prevalent because it showed up in over 80% of people who take it. So it's not like there's only a small chance that you get those effects. You're probably going to feel those effects. And so from my opinion, just my opinion here, from somebody who has gone through first trimester pregnancy twice now, understand, I don't like being nauseous all the time, right? And I could never wait to get out of first trimester so I could get rid of the nausea. So I wouldn't take a weight loss drug, me personally, that is going to make me just feel sick all the time. Like, cool, it did its job, but now I feel like sick. But anyways, understand that those are the most common adverse effects that you're going to run into, okay? So then we have, as far as what is approved, right? Because this is the other thing, that we're running into shortages, which then puts things on not the black market per se, but there are smaller pharmacies coming out with like off-brand ones, and there is also a black market essentially for these things, and those are extra dangerous, okay? Because basically, if you cannot find or have not been prescribed this drug by your doctor for Wegovy, Zepbound, Mounjaro, or Ozempic, then you should not have anything else, because anything else has not been FDA approved. So essentially what these four medicines have is they have like their secret recipe, essentially, of how they make the medication. And so this secret recipe is what's FDA approved, but has not been released to other smaller pharmaceutical companies, which means it could be an entirely different makeup with entirely different adverse effects, may even be less effective, which makes it kind of more pointless at that point, those kinds of things. So if your doctor can't find it, or there's a shortage, which there is, please know there is this black market for it, and there are off-brand ones. Do not touch those. Do not, okay? Because those, you have no idea what's in those, essentially, at that point. Those are not FDA approved. Only Wegovy, Zepbound, Mounjaro, and Ozempic are FDA approved, okay? They have their little secret sauce recipe. But here's the thing, okay? Ozempic and Mounjaro are FDA approved only to be prescribed to those with type 2 diabetes. Doctors are not supposed to be prescribing them for weight loss alone. You must have type 2 diabetes. The opposite side, Zepbound and Wegovy, are FDA approved for weight loss, but only for those with obesity and some other comorbidity. Okay, so a comorbidity is something such as type 2 diabetes, heart disease, you name it, some sort of disease or illness is another comorbidity. So you have to not only be obese, not overweight, obese, and have another comorbidity for these two things to be prescribed to you, or how they're supposed to follow it. And if you have neither, you should not be prescribed them by your doctor, and it should not even be suggested to you by your doctor. And if it is, that's where you need to raise an eyebrow, okay? So again, I keep emphasizing that it's for those who are obese, because the biggest problem I see with this is that people who are 10, 15, 20, even 30 pounds just overweight and could lose this weight the natural way are going for this because it's the easy route and the quick route, right? So it's the newest quick fix. It's the newest fad diet for those who are looking for an aesthetic, compositional, what's the word that I'm looking for? Basically just an aesthetic weight loss, essentially, right? Like your health long-term isn't going to be great if you stay overweight. Yes, like you're still at risk for a lot of things, but obesity is much more short-term and your health is in jeopardy, right? And that's why it's supposed to be for those people, that 40% of America. If you're obese, that's who should be taking it, not, oh, I have 15 pounds I want to lose so I can fit into this dress by this vacation I have coming up. No. Oh, I have 20, 30 pounds that I want to lose just because, oh, here I am postpartum, still 30 pounds heavier than I was pre-pregnancy because I just had a baby. Oh, I want that so that I can quickly lose the weight and then I'm good. Here's the thing. That's not how it works. Okay. Because if you just, and this is my biggest problem with these. And so here's kind of my opinion about it is that one, it's being prescribed to people who it should not be prescribed to. Okay. If you are not obese and have another comorbidity, you should not be prescribed these weight loss injections. You just shouldn't. End of story. And you are the people who are causing these shortages for the people who have type 2 diabetes and obesity, and their health is in actual immediate jeopardy because you're taking it because you want to lose 15 to 20 pounds before your cousin's wedding, right? Like, no, no. Okay. And the problem that I have with it is that it could be a really good positive, right? Like the intention behind it is right. Yes, we do have an obesity and overweight epidemic. Almost 75% of American adults are either overweight or obese, and 40% of American adults are obese. Okay. There's a reason we are seeing such massive increases in things like type 2 diabetes, heart failure, all of these comorbidities, because those are lifestyle induced problems. Yes, there's a little bit of genetics, but it's mostly lifestyle induced issues that cause all these other illnesses and death. Okay. So yes, we have an epidemic when it comes to the size of our country from a health perspective. We are literally killing ourselves because we don't know how to eat or move more. And we're just that lazy of a society, essentially. Okay. And with that, that means that the best way for people to lose weight is to eat in a calorie deficit, exercise, and move more total in general. Okay. And that's what, if this could be such a, like I said, such a net positive, if that's how it was being prescribed. Okay. When I first got on my anti-anxiety medication and my antidepressant medication, this was the first time years ago, well before I was pregnant, well before my postpartum stuff. My psychiatrist, I actually was mandated to continue seeing my psychiatrist and my psychologist to even be considered for a refill of my SSRI, my serotonin reuptake. Okay, my citalopram that I was on at the time. Okay, I was mandated to still see my psychiatrist at least once every 3 months for her to even consider putting in a refill for me. Okay, if I wanted to continue on that medication. So it should be, in my opinion, the same, that if a doctor is going to prescribe these things, especially outside of the realm of who they're supposed to prescribe it to, if they're prescribing it, especially to the people who just want to lose weight for their body composition now, then you should be mandated to also get a registered dietitian or health coach such as myself. I'm not a registered dietitian, by the way, that I'm a health coach, a certified health coach, not a registered dietitian, but there are registered dietitians. So if you have the type 2 diabetes, if you are obese, if you have other comorbidities, yes, go to a registered dietitian. That's who you should go to. If you're getting the prescription from your doctor and you don't have any of that, yes, you can come to me. Okay. But so that you learn how to eat properly to fuel your body and hold yourself accountable, learn how to train and all those things, because you also should then be mandated to go to a personal trainer or have a gym membership and be proving that you're going and working out and moving more. Okay. Be checking in with your doctor. What have you learned about changing your lifestyle factors? Because that's the biggest problem, is that then these people go and they take these injections, and what you don't realize is the long-term effects of them. Okay, what is actually happening when you're losing this weight, especially if you're not pairing it with resistance training and eating enough protein and eating properly, is you're really just losing significant amounts of muscle, which means if you ever come off of that, the weight is all going to come back, and probably more, just like any quick fix or fad diet, because you don't know how to eat correctly or move more, or you have not created these lifestyle changes. Okay. And you're still actually jeopardizing your health, because we have learned and we are learning, and I've talked about it in the past and I'll talk about it again, and I'll talk about it until I'm blue in the face. Your muscle mass is incredibly important to the longevity of your life. So if we're losing a significant amount of muscle on these drugs, then when you do come off, you're actually impacting your long-term health. You significantly are. Yes, you lost the weight, but you're still impacting your health because losing body fat and losing weight are not synonymous. You can lose weight and be losing lots of muscle and not actually be getting rid of the body fat. Okay. That's what people don't seem to understand. And so we have to pair these things with lifestyle changes, learning how to fuel yourself properly, learning how to eat right, learning how to eat in moderation, learning how to mindfully eat, all of these things, and get ourselves moving more because we are such a sedentary society. Okay. The amount of sedentary jobs and occupations in this country have skyrocketed since the early 1900s and even the mid 1900s. Everything now is a sit behind a desk job. And the manual jobs of up and walking and moving around are fewer and far between these days. So we live sedentary lifestyles. We have things, delivery and pick up things, options at our fingertips because of the increased amount of technology. So all we do is sit. And if we do not learn how to eat right and learn how to incorporate more movement in our daily lives, we're not helping ourselves. And what does that mean for you if you are on these injectables? That means that you are either going to, when you come off of it, gain it all back and have to then feel like you need to go back on it or find a different way to lose the weight and basically come circle around back around to the lifestyle changes you should be learning to do in the first place, or B, stay on it forever, which is a lot of money. And the longer you're on it, as much as these things have been researched, okay, the longer we are on these, they still have not been around that long, which means there's a strong chance that all these adverse effects that you're already feeling immediately from these drugs, if we have to be on them forever, what does that mean for our long-term life? What is it going to do to us then? So you should want to not have to be on this medication forever. And the only way to do that is to make the lifestyle changes. Okay. So one, if you're listening and you're somebody who is obese and has the type 2 diabetes and needs to lose the weight, yes, these medications are for you. They are meant for you. But do not let yourself think that this is just going to fix all your problems and you don't have to do anything else. You do need to figure out ways to incorporate more exercise, to learn how to eat properly, so that when you can come off of these, you can maintain your healthy weight. Okay. And for those of you who are on them that should not be on them because your doctor shouldn't have prescribed them to you to begin with, or they shouldn't have these online sites where people just approve you for, like, healthcare providers, quote unquote, just approve you nilly-willy, essentially. If you are on them just because you got like 10, 15, 20, even 30 pounds to lose, but you are not obese and you don't have other comorbidities that are threatening your life right now, one, get off of them. Two, you still also need to learn lifestyle changes and how to eat in moderation, how to intuitively eat, how to mindfully eat, how to eat the right portions, how to make sure you're eating enough protein, how to fuel your body properly, and also incorporate more movement, incorporate resistance training a few times a week. You have to do those things. You do. You really do. If you don't want to break your entire bank because you are paying for these drugs for the rest of time and potentially put yourself in way higher risk down the line of your life, then that's the thing that you need to do. And that is my biggest problem with this. Okay. From a certified health and fitness coach, my biggest problem is that it is basically preying on people who are vulnerable, specifically the population, females, moms, all of it, right? And that's why I take offense. That's why I get upset when I see people on these and when I see people in moms groups promoting them and talking about how wonderful it's been for them, but how they don't have to work out and they can still drink their wine and drink all. And listen, I drink wine, okay? But when I see people go and take these injectables and basically not eat a thing, but then down their entire bottle of wine on a night out, that's not the point, and that's not helping you. Okay. You're not learning anything behind it. And that's what we need from these. We need, if we're going to make this a legitimate, long lasting impact with these drugs, then we have to pair them with lifestyle changes. And they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be. And that's the saddest piece about it, is that they're not being. They're not. And it's really, really hard from a health coach's perspective to watch that happen. It hurts a little bit. It really does. Because like I said, it is the newest quick fix, the newest fad diet out there that is absolutely preying on the vulnerability that is especially moms and females, who we have as a population our entire lives been beat over the head through the health and fitness industry, the nutrition quote industry, and all of the marketing out there, magazines, all of it, of you need to look this size, you need to look this way, you should do this, you need to and how, you can't eat too much protein because you'll get bulky. You can't lift too much because you'll quote get bulky. You have to be super, super skinny. You have to look like this model. You have all of these things. Fat free is best, keto is best, all of these things that are basically just completely telling us our worth is only what that number on the scale says and how skinny we are compared to the girl down the street. And it's not the case. And that's my biggest problem with this, because as a coach in the health and fitness industry, one of the coaches who is trying to change the health and fitness industry, because there is so many trust issues with my industry because of those years and years and years of what has been taught per se. Okay. It's so frustrating to see women my age, or even a little bit older, even a little bit younger, essentially be preyed on. And that's what this is. And that bothers me. Or on the flip side, maybe they know and they understand, but they're like, it's easy. So we're just being lazy. And I'm calling you out. You're just being lazy then. If that's how you feel about it and you're like, yeah, I could do this, but I don't really want to. I could move more. I could work out. I could figure out how to do that, but I don't really want to. This is faster. It's easier. Then you're lazy. You're just being lazy. And you're putting yourself more at risk. Simple as that. So that is my take on it. It's a little all over the place because I need to figure out how to organize my outline here. And obviously there was also a toddler that came in place, and then there was mom brain that had to recover and figure out what the heck was I saying. Oh yeah. Okay. But that is my take on that. Okay. If you are obese or have, and have other comorbidities, yes, this is for you, but please still learn the lifestyle changes that you need to implement for long-term health. Okay. Help yourself right now. Help yourself in the immediate. Yes. Okay. But learn the lifestyle changes you need to learn. Those of you who are taking it just for aesthetic reasons, just because you don't want to work out, just because you don't want to eat healthier, or you want to be able to just not have an appetite so that you don't even have to think about it, stop it. Because one, you're causing a shortage for people who genuinely need it. And two, you shouldn't be on it to begin with. You can easily learn how to do this the right way if you go to somebody such as myself, or a registered dietitian, or a personal trainer, or somebody of that nature who can teach you how to do it the right way. And will it take longer? Yeah. But will it be sustainable for you to change your entire lifestyle and your mindset around it? 1,000 times worth it. 1,000,000 times worth it. 1,000,000,000 times worth it. Okay. You can do this yourself. End of story. I promise you. Okay. I promise you. So anyways, like I said, that is my take. I hope you enjoyed it. All the things. All right. So that's a wrap for today. We will talk more soon. Don't forget, you can always find me on Instagram at coachkens.cpt, or I also have my new IG at Champion Athletics Fitness _2018. That's where I share daily tips, tricks, family life, client wins, all the things, right? All the basics around that. So that is where you can find me there. There's lots of links as well. And then we also have the A Balancing Act podcast Instagram as well, and all of those links are here in the show notes for you. Never hesitate to message me. I don't bite, I promise, and I would love to hear from you. And again, if you like this episode, please share it with your friends and family and on your socials, because I would love to see all of the people that are listening. So that said, we will talk more soon. And until then, go make your days great.